if you're using Foursquare and someone else is on Bing, it's not going to reveal your location. It's just for showing some of the tips and tricks for getting around, which I think is a really neat service. I haven't tried Foursquare in a while. I did it many, many months ago, and I gave it a shot, and it just, I don't know, it was a hassle because if someone else hasn't entered in a particular location yet, you have to enter in the address yourself. But the problem is, what if you don't know what the address is? What I had to do is I had to go over to Google Maps, find my location, pull up the address of the store I was visiting or whatever, and then memorize it, go over to Foursquare, and log it in as a new location, which that's how you have to add things. But it would have been nice if there was some sort of connection between Foursquare and Google Maps right on my phone. That way I could just kind of connect the two. But maybe I should try the Bing app for Android if there is one. I haven't never looked into it, but maybe I'll give that one another shot when I'm trying App Brain this week. Because that would be really nice if you could somehow connect the two. Some sort of map program, whether it's Bing or Google and Foursquare. It would make checking in a lot easier. On March 30th, Modern Warfare 2 will unveil an additional map pack. Even though MW2 hasn't been out for even close to a year, there's been a large number of people that have just heavily played the multiplayer, and they're tired of the maps. They're tired of the same old hiding spots, the same sniping locations, the same running patterns. It's gotten old. So to cure this mapathy, as they're calling it, MW2 is releasing 5 additional maps at $15. And this has just sparked tons of outrage because the most a map pack has ever costed is like $10. And now the additional 5 is just way above and beyond. And here's the funny thing. 2 of the maps are from Modern Warfare 1. So you're paying $15 and only getting 3 new maps. Because I guarantee you that even though they're including 2 classic maps, there's still a large number of the same population who've played that to death. So why are you paying $15 for 3 new maps and 2 maps you've already done before? Talk about lazy. And going back to the early criticisms of Modern Warfare 2, $60 for a 5 to 6 hour campaign. So the bulk of the game is multiplayer. And they charged you enough out of the gate. Now they want to charge you an extra $15 just to get 3. Let's not even call it 5, because it's not 5 new maps. It's 3 maps plus 2 old ones that is several years old that people have already played. Those don't count. So you're paying $15 for 3 new maps. Lame. Infinity Ward, you guys have gone all wrong. You're charging too much for these things. Holy crap. It's just unbelievable. So I will not be purchasing the map pack because, quite frankly, I want some of these top-end players to go away. I want them to go to the new maps, and because quite frankly, I'm just not very good at the multiplayer. I try and try, but I can't aim to save my life, literally. So it's unfortunate. So I will not be purchasing the map pack because of principle. A, I don't have $15, and B, I can barely get around the existing maps that are in there. So there you go. GoDaddy, a domain name registrar, is following in the footsteps of Google and refusing to cooperate anymore with China's demands. China has recently demanded that GoDaddy provide color headshot photos of anyone trying to register for a website name. In addition, they also must have a physically signed registration form by all Chinese customers. So GoDaddy's saying, wait a minute, I need signed papers and headshot photos of everyone we do business with in China? You can forget it. In addition, China wanted them to retroactively provide this data for all current customers, not just new customers. Which, I mean, that's a huge, huge deal that, you can't just, the idea is that you can own a website anonymously, and China's saying, not over here. You can't do that over here. We're going to have your mugshot and your signature, and let's go ahead and collect your fingerprints too while we're at it, and before you own a website. So well done, GoDaddy, for standing up against China and putting your foot down. And of course, as we talked about last week, legislature may come down here in the U.S. that governs companies' actions in other countries. So even if you're complying with China's censorship, for example, the American government may punish you for that because you could be possibly violating humans' rights. So well done, Google. Well done, GoDaddy. Nintendo has announced that they will be releasing a 3D version of their Nintendo DS, and Sony says, you guys are nuts. Now, granted, Sony is on the 3D bandwagon because they obviously are making Sony TVs that are 3D capable, and they're probably going to evolve the PS3 into some sort of 3D thing eventually, but they're saying as far as the portable market goes, it's not viable. You're looking at a 4-inch screen and making your eyes go cross-eyed. And there's been some studies I've heard that 3D isn't good for your eyes because you're forcing yourself to go cross-eyed. And maybe it looks cool for a few minutes, but to stare at it for 2-3 hours, it's quite the toll on your eyes and your brain. We weren't meant to look at things like that. It doesn't. No, 2D is 2D. It is what it is. And to try to make your brain see 3D, it's just crazy. And I've also heard that, if your eyes, we don't all have perfect eyes, of course. And if one eye is stronger than the other, then that's going to cause this lopsided, headachy, yuck thing going on. So, I don't know. I mean, as cool as 3D can be for a little bit, or maybe for an hour or two tops, I just think the whole industry needs to calm down. 3D isn't the end all be all. Go into holographics, Star Trek stuff. That's where it's at. That's the ultimate 3D right there. So work on that, then I'll pay you $1. Thinking of 3D, this is an amusing story. I was driving down the road last week, and the sun was out, and it was bright, so I grabbed for my sunglasses, and I put them on. Lo and behold, they weren't sunglasses. They were those blasted 3D glasses from the theater, and 3D glasses do not substitute well for sunglasses, let me tell you that. And it was just the whole world to hurt, and I had to take them off immediately because, obviously, things were looking a bit goofy. And so let that be a lesson to you. With the iPad coming out on March 3rd, question is, will Amazon drop the Kindle's price? Because obviously, if a Kindle right now is what, $260, somewhere in there? If you pay an extra $130 or $200 and you get an iPad, that's, people might just say, well, let me wait a few extra days, grab a couple extra dollars together, and I'll get an iPad. I could really see Kindle's sales going down. And the thing is, Amazon has had a long time to get a firm customer base, and I think they've done an okay job, but they could have done better. I don't have a Kindle yet. Why? Because it costs too much. I don't have $260 laying around to go out and get something just to read books. That's kind of steep for me. When the iPad comes out, I'm thinking the Kindle is going to have to come down in price, because if they want to stay somewhat competitive, because there is definitely a market of people who don't want to spend $500 for an iPad, but yet they're willing to pay maybe $200 for an ebook reader, the Kindle, and the Kindle is a fantastic ebook reader, and I've only played with one for a few minutes, but I really was impressed. And if they went down to $200 or even $150, I would most definitely buy one. So just knock off $60, knock off $100, and you'll have my money in a heartbeat, because I don't plan on getting an iPad. If I had the money laying around, or if if Apple wants to send me a test copy or a test unit, I'd be all for it. But chances are it's not going to happen. But I wouldn't mind a Kindle, that's for sure. So hope you're listening, Amazon. Hello? Alright, last but not least, my Rager of the Week. I couldn't believe when I saw this. I shook my head and I wept for about 5 minutes. Just when you think that maybe you can have a little faith in Microsoft, they just betray you. They betray you time and time again. Their producer manager, Michael Chang, told Computer World that they're not going to be abandoning support for Windows Mobile 6.5. And Mr. Chang said this: "It was a tough decision to move away from a platform like Windows Mobile, but one we were willing to make." What? Are you kidding me? What do you mean it was a tough decision to move away from a platform like Windows Mobile?